strength will never change, and my love will never fade away. We could be like fire. No one could put us out. We burn so bright, and they will compromise just to feel the energy of our life. Yeah, we could burn like fire, 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 fire. Yeah, we could burn like fire, 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 fire. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? What you waiting for?
Good morning. Sorry for being late. That is the nature of having small children. And so the things that I plan don't always work out the way that I want them to. And that's life changes, you know. That is the nature of life. And as these children grow, their schedules are going to change. And so I'm trying to make this work, being able to do live broadcasts and having children. And it's a challenge. So I hope everybody is having a good morning so far. It's early. It's early where I'm at. It's 6:07. I'm not sure if everybody's on the same time zone as me, but I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in and for showing up, being here with me. I truly, truly appreciate it. So today's broadcast, I've had some time to sit and really just be with my thoughts on this. The title of this show is Starting with the Basics. And there are some things that I want to talk about. Meditation and deep breathing are a huge component. And so something that I've realized, I was in the shower the other day, and I really was trying to bring my attention and my focus to the present moment of me being in the shower and letting the water run over me. And I realized, man, my attention is splintered. It's everywhere. On my mind, I'm in the shower, but my attention was in the living room where my husband and my children were, or on a conversation that I had a week ago, or on something that I regret that I had said or did. And it's like we have this this amazing ability to co-create. And so where your attention goes, that's where your energy goes. And so if you feel you don't have very much energy, it's because you're putting it in all the wrong places, and you tend to be dragging. If your attention is in the past, you're dragging those, that, like, it's like this baggage that you're dragging with you. And so it's really hard to then use that energy and focus to create in the moment, because you're creating with all of these old stories, or you're focused on the future, or you're worried, or that's not what this broadcast was about. But having that in mind, about the attention being splintered, starting with the basics is obviously nutrition. You get fit in the gym, but you lose weight in the kitchen. And what you're feeding your body, you're also feeding your gut. And so there is this mind gut connection. And I I know this is probably something that a lot of people don't really want to talk about, but bowel movements say a lot about, how you feel. So if you are having, you know, on the regular, bloating and gas, and your bowel movements are painful and loose or non-existent, and it's hard to go to the bathroom, having that bloated gas that's trapped and is painful, I would definitely recommend that you take a look at what you're putting in your body. And a lot of times we think we're eating healthy because maybe we're eating health food, right? But anything that is in a package and has, several ingredients, you always want to look at the ingredient labels on the back of the packages that you're purchasing, and you want to shoot for like minimal ingredients. But I am going to tell you that health comes. Good morning, Hippie G. Thank you for chiming in on the chat. Um, fresh, organic produce, minimal animal products. If you are going to have animal products, they should be very high quality. I mean, I still have things that are processed. I still enjoy, like, my favorite bread is Dave's Killer bread. It's organic, but it's wheat. And I don't actually have the sauce to back this up, but I can search for it and find it and share it with you in a later broadcast. But wheat has been modified, and this was done, many, many years ago, back in like the 80s, I believe, that they changed it. And so it doesn't bind to receptors, or there's something involved in what they did to it chemically that affects us. Obviously, a lot of people have gluten intolerance, and that is probably one of the reasons, because it's been modified. And so I don't even believe that the stuff that's marketed, wheat that's marketed as organic, is not genetically modified. And I had a conversation with a gentleman in the grocery store about this, and he used to work for a manufacturing plant that processed organic food, and there's still chemicals that go into this stuff, and it's just labeled as organic chemicals, but it's still chemicals. And so anything that is I have something right here that I'm looking at because I was about to make my coffee, but I was like rushing in here because the intro was almost over. You always want to look at, what's in the ingredients, and there's this one doesn't have anything, but there's usually gums or different kinds of preservatives that cause intestinal issues. We have local produce delivery in Savannah. That's awesome that it's a delivery service from a farm, sorry. Yes, that's really cool that they actually deliver to you. So they're here in Athens, we have a farmer's market on Saturdays, and all of the local farms that are natural, and they may not be labeled organic because they have to go through like a process to get that title, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthier for you just because it says organic. But these farmers are natural farmers, and so there's no pesticides or herbicides or anything, and they all show up, and it's local, it's seasonal. That's the best way to eat. I know we like to have things like, we have a taste for something like strawberries that maybe isn't local to our area, doesn't grow, or it's not in season, but we can buy it year round in the grocery store, and that's not necessarily a good way to, eat. You always want to go with what's seasonal, and don't purchase something that's from, really far away or another country. The closer that you can purchase your produce, the better it is for you. It actually loses nutrients. They spray stuff on it to preserve it, to get it to where it needs to go. So it's really good to find yourself a local farm or, produce stand or whatever, and buy as much as you can that way. Please forgive me if I have to get up. So the baby, right at the time that I was supposed to come onto this broadcast, he woke up. I tried to time this out just right, thinking that he was still going to be asleep. But again, the nature of life is change. And so his schedule, I don't know, he woke up early this morning and I had to feed him, but he's over there cooing and not asleep. He's in a swing. So if I have to get up and get him, I will let you know. But starting with the basics, right? So today, what I plan to do, I'm going to be doing, I've been planning a juice fast, and it's a very mild juice fast, and there are some smoothies in it. So because I'm breastfeeding, I really can't go without, having calories, but I feel the need to do this, not a fast, it's a cleanse, saying it incorrectly. So this juice cleanse or natural produce and nut milks. And so I've been planning that. So I put it together. It's a 5-day juice cleanse. There's a lot of information. It's something that I want to provide to my listeners. All you have to do, it's completely free. Just go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. And I will be sending that out today, probably sometime around noon. So if you don't get in and sign up for my newsletter before then, I'll send it out again next week. And so any new people that sign up will get that as well. But this is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my kitchen today and I'm going to clean out my refrigerator and clean out my pantry and reorganize everything. And then I'm going to the store. So I'm going to be doing this juice cleanse over the next 5 days. Again, like I said, it's very mild. Starting at that point, because what you're putting in your body is also affecting your energy, and it's affecting your ability to think, because a lot of us we have an addiction to sugar. We're eating things that are processed, and I was saying earlier about your gut health and how that has everything to do with how you're able to think clearly. So, getting your gut health to its balanced state, investing in a very, very high quality probiotic and allowing your body to to get everything out, all of the stuff we have, like, I'm sure you guys have heard this, it's all over the place, that we hold 20 pounds of food in our digestive tract. A lot of people are backed up and they don't even realize it. And so if you're having all of these, these issues with your stomach and with your bowel movements in particular, it's something that you should consider is doing a cleanse. And do your research on this. I'm not a doctor. I have the disclaimer. I had to put that up there on the intro. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I am a fitness professional. I am a certified personal trainer, and I do have credentials in fitness nutrition. But I've done a lot of research for my own health on nutrition. And, there's not one diet that I could recommend to anybody. It's, God bless you. He's in there sneezing. He sneezes just like his daddy, like 3-4 times. So there isn't one diet, there is no one size fits all. Listen to your body. Your needs are different from my needs. And, so obviously I have to tell you, consult with your doctor, but don't take what your doctor says as complete fact. Go and do your own research. And there are plenty of people out there that can provide you with credible information. I consider myself to be one of them. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything, but I know how to research. I know how to find credible information, and I'm not going to tell you something that I don't know. I know that eating produce is the healthiest thing for you, and I'm starting to discover that eating animal protein isn't as good as what we're led to believe. And so I don't listen to the CDC or the organizations that are promoting all of these animal products. If I do enjoy animal products. I do enjoy meat sometimes, but I buy stuff that's locally farmed, especially grass-fed beef. So I'm going to clean my refrigerator out and clean my pantry out and start from scratch today to give myself, a platform for success. Because if you have all like, there's some Oreos in there. They are not mine. They are my daughter's, but I bought them for her, and so I'm going to put those in her room because I don't want them in my pantry. But if you have things, we don't like to throw away things that we buy. It's like, oh, okay, I need to change. I need to make a change in my diet, but all this stuff is in here, and I paid money for it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you throw all your food out, but if you want to make a drastic change, you might have to do that, because if you leave it in there, then you're tempted to eat it again. And really want to see if you really want to see results, you have to do things different. If you've always just kept the stuff in the pantry or in the refrigerator and you're like, once I do this cleanse, I'm going to go back to eating this stuff, then you're probably going to find that when you do introduce that stuff back in after a cleanse, that it's what's causing the problem for you. And so an elimination diet, might be necessary so that you can see this is really the only way to see how things are affecting your body. I know that when I eat beef, I even organic, like this was right before we went to we just got back from Florida, and right before we left to go to Florida, I was like not eating meat. I went for like a week without eating it, and I was like, man, I really want a hamburger, but I don't want to get a hamburger at this place because it's just conventionally farmed. I'm going to order it from this really, really expensive restaurant that's like grass-fed beef, or at least that's what they're saying it is. And I ate it, and as soon as I ate it, I felt my vibration drop, and then I had a headache. And I'm like, wow, I can't eat this stuff anymore. This is how it makes me feel. And so for some of you, that's, if you still eat beef, more power to you. Like, if it's not affecting you like that, that's great. Don't stop eating meat just because I'm saying I don't eat meat. But this is what I do. So I'm not completely vegan. I do have animal protein. I do enjoy yogurt. I have eggs. I have chickens. I have 8 chickens. So I feel like those are like little gifts that they give us. And I don't feel like it's wrong because I'm not actually eating the chicken, but I do enjoy eating chicken sometimes too. But it's high quality. If you're going to do it, think about the animals and think about conventional farming and what those animals go through, what they put those animals through. They are abused. They are very sick. They have to pump them full of antibiotics just to keep them alive. And then you're eating that. I remember when I shifted my purchasing to organic instead of conventional, and I would just stand there in the grocery store and stare at what I wanted to buy. And I would look at the organic and I'd look at the conventional. I'm just like, I know that this stuff has chemicals on it, and I know that I need to make this shift. But I would look at the price and I'm like, but this is so much cheaper. And then I would think about the animals, and I would think about how they farm, the produce. And my dad actually was in lawn service for 20 plus years, and he sprayed Roundup for 20 years. And in 2015, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and that was from spraying and breathing in Roundup. Now, he went into remission and never went back to the doctor, but never changed his lifestyle. Now, I fully believe that part of that I mean, environmental factors play a role into the development of disease, but also it comes from within. And my dad was very angry, and he never changed his lifestyle, and he never got over or started to address those emotional issues. And so I believe that that also plays a role. He could have healed completely, but he kept spraying Roundup and he kept being angry and he never changed his diet. All of this to say that I know how those chemicals that are sprayed on the produce, and even genetic modification, because back in the 80s, Monsanto's got with our government and they agreed to do GMOs. Well, what they do with GMOs is they splice the genes and they put the chemical in the plant. So there are chemicals actually spliced into the genetically modified produce. And so we don't even know how that over long term is going to affect our DNA and our systems. And so those are things that you should absolutely avoid. And I know that, the cost of eating higher quality food is a little bit higher, but it's only a little bit. Okay. Think about my sister. She's like, oh, I can't afford to eat like that. I'm like, girl, I am low income and on food stamps and I eat like that. But it's priorities. Okay. Where her priorities are drinking and going out and going places and spending her money elsewhere. Whereas I don't go out. I don't go out to eat. I don't, go out and do anything. I'm home with my children 24/7, except for when I go to the grocery store or an appointment that I have. And all of my money is spent on my food and my supplements, because that is what is important to me. And so I would say, if you think that um, eating organic or buying organic is too expensive, look at your priorities. I guarantee you can afford it. It's not that much more. And sticking with produce, meat is a lot more expensive. I would say cut down on your meat intake to just a couple of meals a week, and then everything else do plant-based. And so, and I know plant-based is a little different. There is definitely a challenge. It's hit or miss with the recipes that I make. And so that's the challenge, is finding recipes that actually taste good. And so I'm experimenting with that, and I have a blog on my website. You can also check that out because I post recipes on that blog. Things that are like a big hit with my family. Like I recently did a black bean quinoa burger, and it is amazing. And so that's posted on my website. I haven't really found anything else, but there are some things, so you can check that out. Let me just come over here, because I have just been rambling on and not really addressing the people that are in my chat, because there are a lot of people watching. So for those of you that are, just joining, or you've been watching and you haven't said good morning, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast and for tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, because I would love to interact with you. So good morning. I did say good morning to you, Hippie. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Stacy, good morning, girl. Thank you so much for being here. And Martin, thank you. I'm so honored to have this platform, to be able to come here and talk about the things that are on my mind, because that's really what this is about for me. Things that I've been thinking about, things that I want to talk about, things that I know that people are having issues with, because I'm having issues with them. So like it's not an isolated thing, like I'm not the only one experiencing everything that I'm experiencing. And so I know that there are people that need this information, that it would help them. So starting with the basics is what you're putting in your body. And that's not just the food that you're consuming, but also the content that you're consuming. And so if you're still watching the news, turn it off. If you're listening to just regular music that, the words that you're putting in your mind. I actually really enjoy listening to music that doesn't have words. And so God, I don't even have the exact date, but I've heard this before and I've read it, and I don't recall exactly what the information was, but that music, probably back in like the 1900s, like late obvious 1900s, when music was recorded, when music started being recorded, they people in power changed the frequency that it was recorded at, and so it's actually not good for your health. The music that a lot of the music that's mainstream, and I don't even know if this goes for everything, but I would actually want to do a little research on that and find out if you can change the frequency of the music that you're listening to. And so I know that there's stuff out there that is supposed to heal your DNA or raise your vibration, and I would say listen to that. Listen to music that doesn't have words, because you're putting those words in your mind. And have you ever had a song stuck in your head and it like repeats over and over again? So I actually have to play, I don't have to, I play my daughter nursery rhymes. She really enjoys listening to them, but I literally have these nursery rhymes stuck in my head. Like they repeat over and over again. And I'm just like, stop. Um, so affirmations, listen to things that are going to benefit you. Listen to high vibration tones, solfeggio tones, and listen to affirmations. And so there on Spotify, I have an affirmations playlist. It is what is it called? Meditation, affirmations, meditation for success, power thoughts. That's what it is. Power Thoughts Meditation Club. And I listen to all of these affirmations like over and over again. I also listen to audiobooks on a regular basis when I'm doing stuff, because I don't have time to like sit down and read, because if I'm sitting down, I'm probably meditating, because that is far and few between as well. Having two babies so close together, it's hard to make that time. So if you're a mom or a dad and you find it difficult to make time for yourself, self-care is so important. So if you don't, having a family, it was easier being a single mom. So if you are in the same boat with me and you find it difficult to make time for yourself, it's you have to find your priorities, create that balance in your life. And if you have to sacrifice being on social media to spend time with yourself, I promise it's worth it. And or getting up earlier. So I do not like waking up early in the morning, but I have decided to do this at least one day a week so that I can show up for my audience. But it's important to wake up early to bed, early to rise. And so I find it gives me more energy when I wake up early in the morning and then put my self-care needs first and meditate. So you have your nutrition, and I would say definitely set yourself up for success by going through your pantry and your refrigerator and getting rid of those things. Amor? Is it Amor or Armor? Good morning. What is new today? Today, there is nothing new today. Challenging, parent life and having small children. And so I was late to the broadcast. You can go back and check out, what I had to say then. But I'm talking about, starting with the basics and setting yourself up for success. If you're having challenges with your weight and with your energy levels, it all starts with what you're putting in your body, what you're consuming. If you're consuming, healthy food or not, a lot of processed food. If you're eating out a lot, the food that you're purchasing, it is actually probably conventional. Businesses are in the business to make money, and so they're probably not buying the highest quality food. Even restaurants that are supposed to be 5-star are more than likely not as high quality. I only feel amazing when I cook my food myself because I know what's going in it. And so eliminating, all of the things out of your pantry that are going to cause you problems, setting yourself up for success, cutting out the, television and listening to higher frequency music and meditating. And this is the basics. This is going to be your foundation. And I believe it's really going to help you. So depreciation. What do you mean by that? I go through these and you'll have to forgive me. So I'll talk and I'll share a bunch of stuff and then I'll go back to the comments and I'm like, wait a minute, what? What does this pertain to? Let me know what exactly you mean by that if you want. But yeah. So let me see if my hot water is still hot. It is. So I can actually make my coffee. Again, I was running in there to make my coffee this morning or running in to get my water. I have a Keurig and my hemp works. I love this stuff. It is, it's not as acidic as other coffees that I've had. And I was actually going to stop drinking coffee right before I started using the HempWorks coffee. And I figured I'd give it a try, and I love it. And so does anybody in here drink coffee? Have you tried HempWorks coffee? Oh, I'm so sorry. Depression. So I listen to a lot of music that doesn't have words, but there is an artist I like. He does rap. His name is Patrick Hayes, and he does a lot of metaphysical rap, and it's really cool. That's somebody that I recommend. But go to Spotify and find, or even on YouTube, you can find solfeggio tones. And instead of listening to music with words, whereas Patrick Hayes, his music has words, which I really enjoy, but I like to listen to just music. And so we think that music is, singing, and it's actually, instruments. And so go find some instrumentals, and solfeggio tones would really help raise your vibration. I would also recommend meditation for you and deep breathing. And for those of you that are new, I'm new. I mean, I consider myself at least a little seasoned because I have meditated quite often prior to having 2 small children, but it's very difficult for me now. And I even find, when you think you're constantly thinking, you don't realize those thoughts and regrets and you're thinking about what you want and you're not in the present moment. And so you find yourself, this negative talk can create those emotions that cause you to feel really down. So affirmations, I use Power Thoughts Meditation Club, and that's on Spotify. They may even be on YouTube. Just Google it. Power Thoughts Meditation Club. And one of the meditations that I recommend for you, Amor, is the gratitude and self-love. And it's a 16-minute, it's kind of a meditation. So if you're going to listen to it, definitely say it aloud as you listen to it. because just listening to affirmations isn't going to do shit for you. It's not going to change the way you think. It does help, just like, if you listen to music and then you have those songs stuck in your head and you'll repeat them, it does help to listen to them. But if you really want to change the way you feel and change the way you think, say them aloud and try to generate that feeling from your heart center, because that's how we create. That's how the law of attraction works, is our emotions, actually our thoughts and our emotions that have this, then we create this coherence between our heart and our head, and then that is what magnetically attracts things to us. So practice sharpening that skill of generating the emotions by saying the affirmations aloud and then feel them. I hope that is helpful for your situation. Does anybody else have any questions or comments, something that you want to add to this broadcast? I am so surprised that the baby has not started crying and I haven't had to get up. He's over there making like the cutest little noises. I don't know if you guys can hear it. You probably can't because they're so faint. So something that I wanted to share about the meditation, and I've actually shared this a lot in many of the broadcasts that I've done, because there is an app that I found. Somebody that I listened to had shared it. God, it's been close to a year now. It's called Balance Sleep and Meditation app. And right now, but through the end of the year, through the end of 2021, they are offering a free trial, and it's a whole year. And this is like a $69 value. So I've been using this meditation app to sharpen my communication skills and sharpen my focus. And it just, requires literally 5 minutes a day. You can change the duration of the meditation. You can change the voice that you listen to. It's amazing. I've been using it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So it's something that I really, really recommend. If you're new to meditation, get this app. If you're not a very good listener, 90% of people are not good listeners. This is something that I struggle with. And I tend to constantly be thinking about what I'm going to say next and not listening to the conversation in front of me. And so this is something that can also help with that. If you are very welcome, Amor. I am very glad that I was able to provide you some information. Engaged Reiki, that's another channel that I am a part of that community. And so Kevin does a broadcast every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for it's a morning meditation, deep breathing, intention setting practice. And I definitely recommend, if you're not a part of that community, to catch one of his live broadcasts. He'll be broadcasting this morning at 8 a.m. So check that out as well. And that will help you sharpen your meditation skills. Oh, good morning, Kevin. I'm so glad that you're watching this with me. This has been hard for me to get on and make this time. And figuring out what I was going to talk about. I've had a lot of things on my heart, and I've been trying to do the meditation and having just one thing that I want to address. Yes, you are my biggest inspiration, so thank you. Does anybody have any questions for me? I am going to be wrapping this broadcast up really soon. I feel like I've shared everything that I wanted to. Oh, hey, Kevin. We talked about in our call the other day, the whole nutrition side of things, and that's really where this stems from for me. But I put together a 5-day juice. It's mostly juice, but there's nut milks. I put together a 5-day cleanse. So I'll send you that. I'm going to add you to my emailing list. And so you'll get everything that I send out. But I'll send that out to everybody that is interested in this 5-day cleanse. It is free. I will send it out to you if you join my emailing list. So if you go to my website here, just put your email address in and you'll be added to my emailing list, and I'll be sending that 5-day cleanse out sometime this afternoon. It's a mild cleanse, and it's, you know, all organic produce and raw nuts. So if you're going to do the cleanse, I highly recommend that you buy organic, all organic produce, high quality. You know, the point of this is to eliminate the toxins. So you don't want to be putting toxins in while you're trying to eliminate toxins. And drink lots of water. The cleanse also has a protocol for giving yourself an enema. You do not have to do that. It is optional, although I highly recommend it. But if you're not going to do that, well, I love this. That's awesome. So my husband has literally thrown everything that was, I guess, out on the table in my bin. And so I have things in this bin. You guys get to watch me dig through it. That's awesome. So if you're not going to do the enema, I highly recommend this. Is an amazing product. It is an intestinal cleanser. And so it uses oxygen. It's not a laxative. Laxatives are very, very bad for your gut. They're very invasive. This is a mild cleanser, and it uses oxygen to kind of blast out anything that is kind of stuck in your colon. And yeah, so that, if you're not going to do the enema, check this out. Oxy powder. You can purchase it on Amazon, but I don't recommend going to Amazon. I recommend going to the manufacturer's website. It's globalhealingcenter.com, and they offer free shipping. So this is actually really inexpensive. It's under $40. So check that out. If you're going to be doing the 5-day cleanse with me, you need to invest in a nice juicer, a quality one, or you can still do the cleanse and purchase juice from a local juicery. Aw. Found you while looking for my morning meditation inside another rainy day here. You know, it's been rainy here too. And I had posted something. So you don't know this, Kevin. Guess what happened the other day? Was it not yesterday, but the day before? A tornado shredded all 3 of my chicken coops. So it was, and here's something that this is completely, you know, separate from what this broadcast is about. But I'm sitting on a call. I have a friend. She's a friend. I consider her my coach. I'm not paying her, but I call her my coach. So I was on the phone with my coach, and I get a notification from the National Weather Service that there is a tornado in my area and to take cover immediately. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go. So I go and I'm looking. I'm like, there's no wind. It looks like nothing's happening. I'm like, what's going on? I call my husband. He's like, I'm almost home. He gets home, and we're standing at the front door, which is it's glass. And I'm going, it starts raining really hard and the wind just picks up. And I'm going, what's going, you know, like I don't see, you know, you hear tornadoes, like I think they sound like freight trains or something. And I'm like, I'm looking across the street. This is where my mom's house is. And I'm like, where are the chicken coops? You could usually see them. I'm like, the chicken coops are gone. And I'm like, oh my God, the chickens are in the front yard. All of the chickens are in the front yard. My daughter's like crying. She's calling me. She's across the street at my grandmother's house upstairs because she was doing her schoolwork over there. And the tornado formed right behind my grandmother's house. There is a tree branch that is literally ripped off, and it is a solid tree branch ripped out of the tree behind the barn. And then the chicken coops, it's like it almost as if the tornado touched down right at the chicken coops. All three chicken coops are shredded in the field. There's this big metal structure that we had over the chicken coops that is like mangled up and twisted and thrown into the field. And then in the field, you can see the line where all the grass is like blown over, and there are trees. There's a tree uprooted, and then there's like the top of the branches are all broken off. I'm going, oh my goodness. Give me 1 second. Anyway, so all the tree branches are broken, and I'm watching, realizing that it could have been so much worse than it was. I'm gonna take this for me. If that tornado would have touched down over here at my house, so all my grandmother's shingles on the back of the house are ripped off, and inside upstairs you can see like the hole to go into the attic. The thing is like moved over. I mean, the tornado could have taken her roof. It's a scary thought. Oh, by the way, all my chickens survived. All 8 of them are alive. They're not hurt. But just thinking about how it could have been so much worse. If that tornado would have touched down over here, I'm in a manufactured home. I wouldn't have a home anymore. If it would have touched down, the roof would be gone. It could have, I mean, this is a trailer, just like those chicken coops are shredded. The walls are thin. This is a very flimsy house. It would not be standing. Part of it would be gone, or all of it. And where I was going with that is, what a blessing. Everything happens for a reason, but thank God, nobody was hurt, not even my chickens. And yeah, the chicken coops are shredded. They're expensive. They're very expensive. So we're looking at like chicken coops to replace it, and $3,000 for the size of chicken coop that we need. But it is what it is, and where no one was hurt. And so yeah, that is amazing. Order over the phone. You can absolutely order over the phone. I don't have their number offhand, but you can go to the website My Daily Choice and check it out. Where is it at? Or HempWorks. That is my ticker. Sorry, I meant to just put it up on there, but that's my my link. You can go and get the number off of the website from there and give them a call. But if you did want to purchase online, you can do a one-time purchase and not store your credit card. It's probably going to be a little bit more expensive if you're doing it like that, because that's a retail customer. If you do a preferred customer, you create your own account. You don't have to have an auto ship, and you can just do a one-time purchase, and yeah, you can store your information. I think you can take your credit card off there. You don't have to leave it stored, but totally up to you, however you want to do it. And I'm trying to take things off. This is awesome. Yeah, miraculous. Very, very miraculous. Here's the crazy thing. So that the night before, I had a dream about a tornado, and I didn't realize it, that, I woke up and I couldn't, bring those images back up. But I'm like, that was a really weird dream. I wasn't afraid, but there was a lot of wind, like spiraling wind. And then, the tornado happened. And after I was sitting here, I was like, oh my God, I had a dream about this, like a premonition, right? Oh, the baby. Yeah. His name is Micah, and the name means who is like God. Yeah. Good morning. Do Do you have a dirty diaper? Yes. Surprising he's not crying. So that was a pretty crazy experience, but everybody's okay. And then I told my husband, I think we should probably get renter's insurance just in case. Now we have to find somewhere because our poor chickens are all in the garage and they are going crazy because they don't know where to lay their eggs. And we were getting like eight eggs a day. So they're just, laying them all in the garage under the car. What are you looking at? You're looking at my plants? Anyways, yes, he is the little baby. But after I get off of this broadcast, he'll pass out, and then, then I'll have like the morning to just go and move around and do what I need to do, like clean my refrigerator out. Well, does anybody have anything else that they want to add before I go? Or any questions? Because I love answering questions and sharing my knowledge. See, Kevin, you actually have me like focusing on my breath. Like I do it all day long. Focus on my breathing when I realize that I've actually been holding my breath. Is that your show? Is that what we're going to do? Or is that what you're going to be putting together? Oh, who is that girl? Sherry Diffban did a show with, and I can't remember the guy's name, but she was talking about 4D, and that's where the name 4D and Rising came from, because she explained to me what 4D is, or was explaining on the video what 4D is, and I'm like, that's where I'm at. That's what it is. I am no longer in 3D. I'm living with a 3D family, and I am in 4D. So yeah, being able to transition to 5D, that is the goal, right? Such a good baby. I'm looking at him. Say hi. He's just very, very curious and looking around. Oh, that's what we're doing. I'm so excited. So everybody be on the lookout for that, transitioning from 3D to 5D. And I'm sure you're going to let me know all about it. I'm so, so grateful for all of you for showing up. It makes me feel so good, and it encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you. I hope all of the information that I shared was helpful. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me via email. Where is my email? You can email me here. Any questions or comments or concerns, or if you just want to share your story with me, I would love to connect with you. Shoot me an email. And I will be back next time on Wednesday at 5:55, or I might be late if I'm dealing with babies, but you all understand that's when it is scheduled for. This is going to be a regular show. FitMomOnFire TV, 4D and Rising. So I love you all, and I will see you next time.